I'm Daniel Fay, Research and Development Coordinator at Stirlings Coast Farmers. Welcome to our talk on the National Land Care Program's funded project, Soils Extensions. The Soil Extension Project, as funded by the National Land Care Program, provides critical resources to extend and communicate the results of long-term soil amelioration projects. The aim of this project is to provide growers with continued communication of results and findings after the funded period of these projects has come to a close. The effect of soil amelioration, such as liming, deep ripping, claying, and long-term tillage strategies, often takes time. Unlike other areas of agricultural research and agronomy, the impact of soil amelioration is expressed over a long period of time, and it is critical to be able to capture and communicate these outcomes to growers to ensure that best practice is adopted. For example, claying lasts up to 25 years. However, if you want to fully capture the economic reality of claying, then you need to be able to record results long after any funding of a claying project would go ahead. The Soils Extension Project provides us with these resources to be able to communicate these projects long after the original funding has expired. This talk will focus on the lime efficiency trial at East Tenterden. In 2013, 3 lime rates were applied: a 2.5 tonne a hectare, a 5 tonne a hectare, and a 10 tonne a hectare application of lime was applied to the surface in randomised and replicated plots. Additionally, 5 tonne a hectare of lime was applied and was incorporated with a mould-bore plough. In 2019, 5 tonne a hectare of lime was applied to the same area. However, this was on one of the control plots, was incorporated with a deep ripper. Over the lifespan of this trial, ranging from 2013 to 2020, extensive soil testing was conducted. pH was recorded at depth increments of 10 to 40 centimetres. Soil was tested for pH in 2014, 2015 and 2019. Yields were recorded and any in-paddock observations were noted. Soil pH recorded in 2019 showed there had been an increase in pH as a result of the lime treatments compared to 2015, which in turn was an increase of the soil pH recorded in 2013. This highlights the prolonged effect of liming and the slow effect of the neutralisation resulting from the lime. The plots where 5 tonne a hectare and 10 tonne a hectare of lime was applied resulted in the greatest increase in pH compared to the plots where only 2.5 tonne a hectare of lime was applied and the nil plots. 10 tonne a hectare of lime resulted in the greatest surface pH level, that is the pH from 0 to 10 centimetres. There was no significant difference, however, of the pHs at depth from 10 centimetres to 40 centimetres when compared to the 5 tonne a hectare treatment. This is interesting. It highlights that going at a heavier rate of lime might be able to increase your topsoil quicker, but it will still take time for that lime to work its way down through the soil profile if it is not incorporated. This is highlighted by the fact that 5 tonne a hectare rate of lime, which was incorporated with a mould-bore plough, resulted in a higher pH at all depths than the 10 tonne a hectare surface application. As you can see, the results were taken at all depths across all plots. There have been significant yield responses to the lime treatments in 2016 and 2019. These yield responses occurred in seasons where there was moisture stress late in the season, that is, where the seasons cut off around springtime and there was not moisture available for the crops to properly carry themselves through. Within seasons where moisture needs were met and yields were high across the board, the response was not as pronounced. Over the life of the project, there has been a trend towards greater yield response, where 5 tonne a hectare of lime or more have been applied. Although not all results are significant, if you're looking at the graph, you can see that there is an uptick where there is a heavier lime rate applied. There has been minimal yield response to the 2.5 tonne a hectare compared to the nil. This is highlighting that there might be a critical threshold of lime to be applied in order to alleviate that pH, to lift the pH, which then in turn will lift yield.
Understanding the economics of new on-farm management decisions is crucial for farmers and crucial for increasing adoption. Their farms are their livelihoods. It's not simply good enough to show the environmental benefits of implementing certain practices, such as those for improving soil health. They also need to see that implementing any new practice is an economically viable decision. Investment through the National Landcare Program allowed Stirlings to Coast farmers to conduct an economic analysis of the lime efficacy trial described so well by Dan just now. Before jumping into the results, it should be noted that apart from the cost to implement each of the treatments, it was assumed that all the other variable costs remain the same across the treatments. For example, the fertiliser and chemical application costs. So the good news is that all treatments returned a greater profit over the 6 years than the untreated control, which had no lime applied. At the end of the 6 years, the most profitable treatment was the combined mould-boarded and limed treatment. This was followed by the 5 tonne of lime applied to the soil surface but not incorporated. The 2.5 tonne and 10 tonne of surface applied lime treatments appeared to be the equally less profitable treatments in this case. When we take a closer look at the year-on-year economic results, it is clear the more expensive treatments took a hit in 2014. This makes sense as the cost of the treatments were incorporated into this first year cash flow analysis undertaken. Looking to 2015 and onwards, where the cost of the treatments was taken out of the profit equation, the combined mould-boarded and 5 tonne limed treatment showed the highest profitability in 4 of the 5 years. Also excluding 2014, there was very little difference between the profitability of the 5 tonne lime compared to the 10 tonne lime surface applied, suggesting the 5 tonne of lime was enough to manage the soil acidity issue in this case. In summary, trials like this one are important for increasing awareness of soil acidity issues. The yield data from this trial shows that liming with incorporation does work, and the economic analysis shows that actively managing soil acidity is also profitable. Acidity continues to impact on-farm productivity and profitability, and extension of information from long-term trials, such as this one, will assist in further adoption of sustainable liming practices in our region. Stirlings to Coast farmers would like to thank the host farmer involved in the project for their time and the land. We'd also like to acknowledge the Federal Department of Agriculture, Water and Environment for the investment in this project through the National Landcare Program.